Hi, my name is Drew. I'm a mathematics tutor here on Wyzant. I cover many different subjects here, but today we're doing a problem in calculus, covering the basic concepts of calculus and the derivative. So in this problem, we're given a function. The function that we are given is f of x equals 3x squared plus 6x. The question first asked us to graph this. I believe the poster has already completed that part, so we're going to skip that. But then the second part of the question asks to find the derivative of this using this. Using this identity here, limit as h approaches h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now, for many people familiar with calculus, they'll recognize this immediately. This is the definition of the derivative here. So it's asking us to use this limit in order to find the derivative instead of the normal derivative rules that we may be familiar with. So in this case, all this comes down to is plugging this in and finding the limit. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do the limit here, the limit as h goes to 0, and this is the derivative here, of f of x plus h. So wherever we see an x, we plug in x plus h. So 3 times x plus h squared plus 6 times x plus h. And we're going to subtract that by f of x, which is just this expression here, squared plus 6x. And that's all going to be over h. So then we just do our arithmetic here. So the limit, again, this might seem tedious to write it, but it's important. H approaches 0 of this whole thing. So this here, we're going to get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, and we're going to multiply that by 3. So that is going to give us 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared plus 6 times this. So 6x plus 6h, and then we're going to subtract this, minus 3x squared minus 6x, all over h here. Alrighty then, so we're just going to combine some like terms here, limit as h goes to 0. All right, so we have 3x squared here, and we have a negative 3x squared here, so those cancel. We have a plus 6x here and a minus 6x there. Those also cancel. So now we're just left with these three terms. So that's 6xh plus 3h squared plus 6h all over h. Now we're asked to evaluate this limit as h goes to 0. Now, if we were to do the kind of first thing which you should always do, which is to plug in this value where you see h, we're going to get 0 over 0, this indeterminate form here. So we can figure out a way to simplify this a little bit. We notice that there's an h's all up here and there's an h down here. So if we pull out an h at the top, we'll get 6x plus 3h plus 6 all over h. Now that we have the h out here and h here, we can cancel those, which means that we're finding the limit as h goes to 0 of 6x plus 3h plus 6. All right, we only have one term that has this h here, so as h goes to 0, this term goes away, which means that the limit is 6x plus 6. And that there is our derivative. And this you could also double check by going back here and making sure this is true. If we're looking at, for instance, how you would look at the power rule, for instance, and in order to evaluate this, the derivative using the power rule, bringing the 2 down, multiplying, would give us 6x and then plus 6, and that matches. So that's perfect. There's another part of the question that asks us to find the derivative of, the f prime of some values. So I think there was maybe 0, I think was in there, and f prime of 1. This is simply plugging in these values for x into our newly found derivative function right here. So we just plug those in, this derivative expression here, and you can get all of those answers there. All right, thank you so much. Have a good one.